What's up, guys? We're going to talk about some major electrical issues that I'm having with my 540. This is a 2002 Vano style, and I've only got the one building, and I put the M5 in there. So this car sits in my paved driveway up on the other side of the house for the winter, which I didn't think was going to be a problem, but come to find out, when I got this thing out for the season, which was just here the other day, I got a handful of foolish issues on my hand. So what we have is, we've got the tilt sunroof only wants to work sometimes. The tilt steering doesn't work. My driver's seat does not work. The driver's window stopped working. The heater stopped working. So I said, holy, this is crazy. So I had a small battery into it, which you shouldn't do. If you're going to buy a battery, buy the proper size one. But what I did was, I got my little scanner out, and I gave her a scan and cleared everything that was onto it where I had changed the battery. So I thought all was good. My heater kicked back on for a little bit. My window was working. My seat still wasn't working, and the tilt steering still wasn't working. But at least I had heat and the window was working. So what happens is, as you can see, I've got all the lights on. When I scan this and clear this with my heater off, all those lights will go away and stay away. I've driven the car. As soon as I hit the power and turn that blower motor on, all these lights come on in my dash, and sometimes my driver window button will make a funny noise, but the passenger one works. Oh, now the passenger one's not working either. So I've been chasing all these crazy electrical things that's going on, which really doesn't make sense, right? So I got digging around a little bit, you know, checked back here, made sure my ground was good, made sure everything looked good here in this box, blah blah blah. Started checking a couple random fuses, you know, the ABS and stuff, but I do not recommend that if you don't have the scanner to clear it, because if you pull those fuses and trip the light and you don't have a scanner, you're out money, right? So I did a fuse video. If you're going to check the fuses, get a bright light and try to get your head in there and just check them out without pulling them. But like I say, just crazy the amount of electrical trouble that just up and come out of nowhere. So as you can see, I've got the passenger seat out here on the ground, and to get that out you need a Torx. There's 4 of them bad boys holding the seat in. To take the seat out, I recommend taking your back bolts out first. Roll the seat back with it still connected. When you get it back that you can get out your front bolts, take the front bolts out. Onto your wiring out it comes. So what I've noticed, just sitting over winter, I've got some water in her. So I started going at it last night, pulled some pieces up. A lot of you aren't going to like this, but I made a few small tiny drain holes in the floor, just because I do not drive this in the winter. It only gets driven in the summer, and if I'm going to have a water issue, I would rather it drain than just sit in the floor and continue doing damage. So luckily, my theory is what happened, the way the car was sitting for the winter, I think all the water was in the floor in the back. So either my sunroof drain's clogged or a seal's gone somewhere. And as I started driving the car, my theory is that the water started splashing up through, possibly working its way up through. And what we have is at this main electrical connection, as you can see, we've got some corrosion, some green, some rust, some stuff that you don't want on electrical connections. And earlier I just popped this one off because it was easy to move it. But if you look, you'll see the metal here. It was connected on this end. I moved the connection down to this side because this side's all nice shiny steel. From that connection point outward, that metal is all black and tarnished, and like you can tell bad stuff was going on there. And I believe it's actually copper, but it's just strange the way that it's burnt with this nice coating onto it. So as you can see, we've got some very not good, not nice stuff in here. And here in Nova Scotia, trying to get a part like this from BMW would probably cost me half of what the car is worth. So what I'm going to do is, these lower ones are the worst looking ones because they were probably completely submerged before I fixed this or found this leak. So I'm going to unbolt them because there's 3 wires connected to each one. And I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to take a random guess that those are probably tied to my heater blower motor and my power seat over there and all that foolish stuff that isn't working. But no guarantee. So if this stuff doesn't fix it, the video is going to be longer. If it does, we're going to let you know. But either way, it makes sense just because of, you know, I stored it for the winter. The car worked fine last year, and now I've got all these crazy issues. So that's what I found, guys. And I believe it actually, well, my brand new headlight isn't working in the front, so I don't know if that's tied into it or not. It probably just blew the bulb. But if you own an E39 and you're having electrical issues, I highly recommend getting down. And you may not think you have a water problem. If you see how these floors are laid out, there's like 3 inches of foam in places, 2 inches of foam in the other places. This is a different type of foam. The white foam is right underneath the carpet, and then this green foam's on the floor. But the white foam will really soak water up, so get in your back seat and kind of pump the floor. And once you get a couple pumps, you'll notice, wow, I might have the same issue too. And if you have this issue, it also could be over on the driver's side, you know. I've already checked the driver's side. The driver's side of my car is good. Of course, it would be the passenger side with all the electrical gear, right? So I guess there's nothing more to say. I'm going to pull those connections apart, clean them up the best I can, put it back together, and cross my fingers that maybe stuff might work now. But honestly, guys, when I first pulled that carpet up in the back yesterday, you can see the water trail, and this was yesterday, and it's dry out. So I bet you, all jokes aside, there was probably 4 or 5 liters of water in there, and I bet you that sponge has a good amount soaked up in there yet, because even on the front side, even in here, like look, it's 2-3 inches thick, and it's just soaked. So glad I tore this up and had a look. If you guys own one of these, I highly recommend you should probably do it too. Alright guys, so I got digging at her, and look at this. 3 wires are broke right off, and there's what the connection plate looks like. Wow. And then our other lower connection plate that I removed, they're all still intact, but one is barely, and it's super rusty, super wet. Not really a great situation here, but we'll get these couple wires fixed up, clean this up, and we'll get her all connected, and I bet you this is going to be the end of the issues. I got the first connection all cleaned up, ready to go. Just to get this other one done. Got that cleaned up quite nicely with some sandpaper. So we're making progress. All right guys, check that out. My power seat's working, my window's working, my heater's working. All my electrical issues are now solved. As I was saying, we're back up 100%. There's no lights on in this car that shouldn't be. You guys that watched, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I try to give good information, real story, real events. Nope. Well, I kind of cut corners. I didn't buy any parts, so save some money. But like, even the headlight was acting up, flickering. Sometimes when I hooked my scanner to it, the scanner would just freeze up and shut down, and I mean, I was really scratching my head. I thought I had a, you know, I figured a mouse or something get into the wire harness over winter in the dash, but everything I checked that I could visually see looked good. So anyway, if you guys own an M5 or a 540 or any 5 Series and you're having crazy electrical issues, that is the first place I would check. Thanks for watching.